Red Bull is set to decide this week on whether to replace an underperforming Liam Lawson with his ex-teammate Yuki Tsunoda from the next race in Japan, following untenable drives in Australia and China. Lawson dominated news headlines in late December last year when it was announced he would replace Sergio Perez at Red Bull, despite just 11 F1 starts at AlphaTauri turned RB. Lawson hasn't been afraid to address comments publicly, including from Tsunoda, who said he's ready to step up, and rival team boss McLaren's Zak Brown, who questioned his promotion. "I couldn't care less what Zak says, to be honest," Lawson said. "I haven't spoken to him, I don't really think ever, and I haven't read any social media for the last 2 weeks." Mercedes remains committed to making inroads to leader McLaren, with George Russell stating the Silver Arrows can finish ahead if they deliver a car capable of fighting F1's top team. Mercedes trails McLaren as its closest and most consistent rival, even though Russell said in China the Papaya squad enjoys a pace advantage bigger than Red Bull has ever had. But while the Brit said McLaren could win every race, he said it wouldn't, based on its divided driver lineup. And after the race, he said Mercedes just needed the car and he'd do the rest. Though Russell isn't sure the gap to McLaren can be closed this season. "If we do deliver a car that is capable of fighting the McLaren, I have no doubt that we can finish ahead because we're doing such a solid job as a team," Russell said. Staying at Mercedes, where reserve Valtteri Bottas says his ex-teammate Lewis Hamilton will be energized by support from Ferrari's Tifosi. Hamilton had a tough debut for Ferrari in Australia with unwanted radio chatter and strategy blunders, while China was up and down with a sprint win and race disqualification for a worn skid block. Things can only get better though, and Bottas, during a chat with official podcast F1 Nation, says that Hamilton will be soaking up the passionate local support to keep him pushing hard.
For sure, he will get lots of energy from the passion, from all the, I would say, different support he has from the fans. You get these Ferrari fanatics. I think that's going to give him energy, and I think honestly he's still for sure getting used to the way the team works. He's still getting used to the car, a different engine, so I wouldn't just judge him quite yet.
Formula One was in mourning ahead of the Chinese Grand Prix, following the death of former team owner turned pundit Eddie Jordan, aged 76, following a battle with cancer. Jordan, a former Irish banker and racer, ran his own team from 1991 through to 2005, with an eye for a deal, publicity, and young drivers who he could develop and sell to top teams. Jordan's maiden win, a thrilling 1-2 result at the 1998 Belgian Grand Prix, was delivered under immense pressure. And the ingredients were there for an even better 1999 season.
Yeah, we're very optimistic, and I think we're coming into the season as a good team with a good atmosphere and a very optimistic approach to it.
I think we have got the right package together. We have a strong Honda engine, we have a Mugen Honda engine, and we have a strong car, approved car from last year even. It looks great. Yeah?
Heinz-Harald Frentzen was on the podium 6 times, including 2 wins, but it wasn't enough for a proper title chase. However, the rise of the manufacturer era in 2000 led to its decline, and the squad was sold in 2005, the first in a series of sales that would, in the end, bring it to become Aston Martin. Red Bull Racing team boss Christian Horner has defended his colleague Dr. Helmut Marko's right to label Isaac Hadjar's post-crash crying as embarrassing, a hot take that divided the paddock. Hadjar was a vivid image from the season opener in Australia, with the Racing Bulls rookie distraught after putting his car into the barrier on the formation lap. But while Marko's brutal comment was seen as insensitive, Horner says that it has to be taken in context of who the Austrian is. Look, Helmut's 82 years of age, Horner said. He's old school. He's a guy who lost an eye and pulled over the car and just turned the engine off. He will always have his own opinion, which he has the right to. Does everybody share that opinion? No. Aston Martin CEO and team principal Andy Cowell has poured cold water on suggestions that the squad's co-owner, executive chairman Lawrence Stroll, is a bulldozer with little patience. F1's ambitious green team has underdelivered this year with the AMR 25 off the pace, no nearer to replicating its results from 2023, when Fernando Alonso scored 8 podiums. But while rumors continue that Stroll is unhappy with progress, Cowell, in a chat with F1's official podcast Beyond the Grid, says the Canadian is just as ambitious as everyone else in the team.
I don't think he's a bulldozer. He's determined. He's determined, he's got a passion, he's got an enthusiasm. He's observing what's required to get things done. And like all of us, it's frustrating if things don't happen at the pace that you'd like, but it's important to have the details, the understanding of what's going on.
McLaren dominated in China, with Oscar Piastri leading home teammate Lando Norris for its first opening double since 2003. The Papaya squad was one of just 4 to bring upgrades to Shanghai with a new rear brake duct winglet. Racing Bulls brought gurney flaps for its front wing and a 2-element beam wing. McLaren was also one of 4, along with Red Bull, Mercedes and Aston Martin, to break curfew on Wednesday night following a freight delay that was caused by technical issues with 2 aeroplanes. The FIA initially provided a curfew exemption, but later revoked the pass, with their first of 4 allocated jokers used. Bangkok's chances at securing a future Grand Prix continue to build, with news Thai driver Alex Albon is doing all he can to make the race happen. F1 is now setting its sights on expansion within Asia, with the US market satisfactorily serviced by 3 events in Miami, Austin, and Las Vegas. F1 already has 3 Grands Prix running in Asia, including Japan, where the sport is now headed as part of a triple header through April. F1 Supremo Stefano Domenicali flew to Bangkok last week to meet with Thai Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra, who was set to unveil the city's impressive plans for a race. But while Bangkok would fit the destination race bill, Albon says having a Thai Grand Prix would come with its own challenges. The heat, Albon said. That's one area in which it might become a Singapore 2.0. But I'm all the more for it, so on my side, just doing everything I can to make that happen. But let's see what happens. South America remains a hotbed of F1 interest, with the sport's official exhibition now in Argentinian capital Buenos Aires. While Red Bull was in Brazil earlier this month for a show run through southern metropolis Curitiba on an extensive temporary track. The crowd enjoyed on-track action from stunt riders, Enzo Fittipaldi and Guy Curry in the Ford Performance Mustang, and Rafaela Ferreira, who became the first Red Bull Academy program driver to participate in a Red Bull showrun event. With the 19-year-old in a V-carb liveried Formula 4 car. But all eyes were on Red Bull's V8-powered 2011 title-winning RB7 cars, which were put through their paces by F1 showrun veteran drivers Patrick Friesacker and Scott Speed. F1 returns to South America later this year with the Sao Paulo Grand Prix, held at the legendary Interlagos circuit on November 9. Thanks for watching. To stay up to speed on all things Formula One, make sure you hit the subscribe button.